Hello and welcome to Octave Tuneup with Digital Thinker. This is a short weekly session designed to help you get more from your Octave solutions. So in just 15 minutes, we'll focus on practical tips, helpful features, and ideas you can put to work right away. My name is Rebecca, and today Jordan will be facilitating the session. And the goal is simple: fast, focused, actionable learning that helps you work smarter, discover new capabilities, and make the most of Octave week after week. If you missed a session or want to revisit a previous one, be sure to check out the Octave Tune-Up playlist on YouTube. Each session will be added to the playlist, such as Stephanie's video on updating the EAM report package. With that, I'm pleased to introduce Jordan, who will be leading today's tune-up. Jordan, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so today I want to talk through, actually, Rebecca and I were discussing this a few weeks ago, and um, I wanted to talk a little bit about approval workflows. I know that this is a relatively new feature in the last, couple of years of Octave Attune EAM. But when I was going and Rebecca and I were discussing, one thing we were talking about is there's actually a way to kind of build a little bit more custom workflows within the approval workflow setup. If you're used to setting up approval workflows today, you can be kind of limited to um, what you have on the screen or the entity that you're using. So in this case, your requisition screen. The fields you're kind of able to pull from, you're really limited to what's on the requisition screen or maybe what's behind working in the requisition screen. But what I wanted to kind of go through today was how you can add a little bit more customization and maybe pull in some fields from other screens that might be related to the requisition, instead of maybe just having to, right flex to bring those fields on the requisition screen so you can use them. So it'll be a little complex, but I think there will be some other learning, little nuggets that we can talk about as we're going through. So just a little recap into approval workflows here. So here are the kind of entities that you can use. So I think a lot of what your most common ones are going to be are your work orders. Maybe if you get a new piece of equipment in, you want to work through an approval flow that might not just be related to changing status, but maybe it's, getting a certain type of, a group willing to come in and approve it. And you can create some customization behind that. But you've also got projects, purchase orders, requisitions. And this is kind of what I want to talk about today specifically. And you've got different types. So parallel all is when basically anyone can approve at any time, but everyone on that approval list needs to approve it. Parallel any is, any one person on that approval list can approve, and it will approve the rec for everyone. And then sequential is, hey, you need to do it in a specific order with, person A going first, person B going second, and so forth. But I want to click onto a workflow that I built yesterday when I was going through and just testing for our call today. And I want to specifically look at a requisition approval related to a project that's associated to that requisition. So on your work order screen, you can associate a project to a work order. Well, then if you create a requisition against that work order, it will also bring the project over to that requisition. In this case, what I wanted to do is I want two people approving this requisition. I want whoever the default approver is on the requisition screen. But say, for example, I want the project coordinator to also be involved um, in approving this requisition. Well, if I go to my specific project here, and I believe it's this one here, um, I've got a coordinator that's associated to this project. Well, I can't natively pull in that coordinator to the requisition. What I need to do is either maybe use a user-defined field and flex that coordinator over to that user-defined field, or what I can do is build what's called a workflow function, or kind of load one in there that pulls in this coordinator. So how I did that was I built a flex rule for it. If I go to organization, and I won't talk through this exactly because I don't want to bore y'all through it, but what I did was there's these workflow functions that work kind of behind the scene in a screen. So I'll show you kind of what some of those examples are. But what I did was I used an R5 organization post update flex. And I would recommend, you know, having one of your expert sysadmin users or your IT kind of work through this flex here. But what essentially I did was I created my own workflow function, and what I used was this specific in the stored function field. I wrote a little bit of SQL to pull in that project coordinator, and then also I threw a little logic in there as well with a case statement. But I just kind of want to show y'all what that is. So how this was triggered, I basically went to the R5 organization field, updated the description on my star organization, and then I also put in flex on the user-defined first character. And that, when I saved it, triggered this flex to run and inserted this work order workflow function in there. So if I go to my approval workflow setup and I go into add a column, and here are all my requisition fields that I can, use logic against. So I can pull in, the default approver. I can put in, maybe the person requesting the requisition also needs to be an approver. I can pull in those fields here. But if I type in FUNC, or if I scroll down towards the bottom here, it's going to give me a list of the work order, the workflow functions that are associated to the requisition entity. So as you can see here, like when you insert a class or you insert a supplier into the requisition screen, or you put that class or supplier on there, it will also pull over the description. Well, this is the logic that's kind of happening behind the scenes here. So you've got your email address, you've got, if you know on the requisition screen, you've got total lines that will be calculated, the total value of the rec, total service value, total part value. This is all the logic that's calculating those fields for you. Well, after I ran that flex, I have another workflow column here that allows me to pull in that project coordinator field if it exists on the project, and and my rec is associated to a work order that also has a project tied to it. So what I've got here is my project coordinator, my rec default approver. For my approval steps, I think I've got this, as a parallel all. So I think both people need to approve it in this step. But my project coordinator is tied to the employee field, so I need to do a parameter person. And then my default approver, I believe, is tied to the user ID. So I set it up this way. I don't have any step conditions, but this is where you could throw something in where, like, I only want my default approver to approve it, or I only want the project coordinator to approve it if, X, Y, and Z are happening on that requisition. That's where I would throw it in the step conditions here. So if I go ahead and activate this, I'll kind of show you what this looks like here. And I do have a requisition built out, but we can try this live here and see how it goes. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to cheat a little bit. What I have is my work order I brought over onto my requisition. I also have the project budget. So when I associate, you know what, I'll do this. There we go. I'm going to add my storeroom. And then I'm going to associate that work order. So if I go back here, 15204. Pulls in my associated activity, pulls in that project budget, and I'll just throw the central storeroom in here. Don't need a description. I'm just going to hit save. I'm going to throw a default approver as myself. And then I'll just add a quick part on here as well. Okay. So my status here, so if I go back to my approval workflow, it's active. My activation status, so anytime I'm going from one of these four statuses and I move it into awaiting approval, is when that workflow is going to trigger. So if I go back to my requisition, and assuming I configured this all correctly here, ignore that. We'll be back. Okay, let's try this one more time. There we go. Okay. Someone's been playing some EF in here. So what the difference is between this workflow is that it locks down this screen so you can't change the status. So normally, if it gets put into awaiting approval, you have that drop down to move to approved. You're going to have a little bit more access into like what you can change there. But if I go to my tab of workflow approval, what I've brought in now is myself, because I am that default approver, the rec default approver field, but I've also brought in the project coordinator to also come in and approve this rec. And if we go to the projects tab or the project screen, this is my associated project. Here is that user that now needs to also approve this rec. So what I kind of wanted to show here today is essentially how we can use those workflow functions using a simple, post update flex on R5 organizations. You go in, you go to your organization screen, and I'll just detail what you would do. If I had that flex on, I would go to my star org. I would go to my, and you can do this with just updating the description. You don't have to put that flex, uh, into your filter if you want to. But what I can do is click flex or put flex in there. And that counts as an update. I can also just add a space to the organizations field here. Click save, and that will run that flex for me. That inserts my workflow function. And what this allows you to do is you're not limited to just what's on your requisition screen or what's on your work order. You can pull in stuff from your projects. You can pull in stuff from your equipment screen, like if you wanted to do stuff off of like serial number or equipment criticality that might not necessarily pull over to the work order itself. Approval workflows and inserting those functions allow you a lot more creativity in how you build your approval workflows. So that's pretty much it for today. Are there any questions on what we covered today?
Yes, there's one question, Jordan. So the flex is a one-time flex, essentially to create the function so that we can get the
Correct.
information from other
Yes,
database
it's
tables.
a one-time function, and how I was kind of playing around with this is I did a query on I did a select star from uh, R select star from R5 workflow functions in Cognos. and it gives me a list of all the existing workflow functions in the system. I basically picked the next function name, so it went up to 0145. So I inserted 0146. This WFF pool was an existing one. It's actually tied to the delivery address, but from my testing, I just needed to pick an existing one in the system. So when you do that select all query, um, pull an existing pool number in there. And then this was the straightforward stuff. R5 requisitions was my entity, pulled in my query. Data type was C. That's what all of them were. And then plus for the system. So this is a one-time flex. When you do run this, make sure that you go in and turn it off. So a lot of times when we do these R5 organization one-time flexes, there's a common one we'll use for maybe kicking out the user who's currently using the author license. Well, if you keep that on and you also run something else, you might run it. And if you have the author license, you're kicking yourself out because that flex is still active, that other organization. So it's always good practice to make sure all your other OR5 organization flexes are off. But yes, great question. This is a one-time flex that you would use.
Fantastic. And Victor did do a video on one-time flex. So in the recording, I'll include a link back to that. I can see many use cases for this. This definitely broadens the possibilities of approval workflows. So thank you, Jordan, for sharing, and thanks to everyone for joining today's Octave Tuneup. And we will see you back next week. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.